Restricted free agency has changed forever. Historically, restricted free agency was that time for young prospects coming off that rookie contract to either get rewarded with a big rookie extension, sign a big offer sheet with another team that sees the value in them, or sign a qualifying offer and bet on themselves having a breakout year. But things are changing with how the landscape of the NBA has shifted since the new collective bargaining agreement. And teams are very wary of giving big contracts out now, because every team fears the penalties that come with the second apron. Even with that, most teams don't have cap space anymore, as the current CBA is designed to have most teams remain somewhere in the middle. So now players that want big money, above the full mid-level exception, have to go through their team for that extension or to be traded to another team. So this has made it where restricted free agents and free agents in general are losing some of their negotiating leverage. We're seeing this play out with several of the current crop of restricted free agents in Jonathan Kuminga, Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, and Cam Thomas, as they and their teams have different ideas of what their value is. But since there weren't many teams with cap space, these free agents couldn't threaten to leave. An example from the recent past is DeAndre Ayton. The Suns didn't want to give him an extension that he wanted. He signed with the Pacers and they ended up matching it. But now there is no Pacers to save these players. And I think this will be a trend as free agency as a whole cools down over the next few seasons. Since if players want more than just mid-level money, they're going to have to go through their own team. When it comes to Cam Thomas, he was looking for $30 million a year and the Nets offered him $28 total for 2 years. With a team option, which is pretty wild. Only offering him the mid-level is basically saying take it or leave it, because it's not a cent more than what another team could potentially offer him. And it has a team option, so he can't test free agency the next year. And it's not a player option where he could decide whether or not he goes back or not. But the archetype of the undersized volume shooter that plays no defense is kind of going away in the NBA, so this may be a sign of this. With Quentin Grimes, he was looking for $25 million at first, but it seems like he sees the reality of the situation and is probably going to eventually take less to come back. He does only have a season's worth of sample size for the scoring he had last year, so I understand why he would be more likely to, but I doubt it will be longer than 2 years, so he can try to get back on the market sooner rather than later. Josh Giddey has played great for the Bulls since coming over in the Alex Caruso trade. He was looking for $30 million from the Bulls, but they're not really trying to offer much more than $20 million a year. It's clear that him and the Bulls are kind of deadlocked right now, but I think it's probably more likely that he comes back than not. And any of these players could potentially try and bet on themselves and sign the qualifying offer and become an unrestricted free agent next offseason, where more teams might have cap space, but it seems like a lot of teams are building their books to have cap space in 2027 and not necessarily 2026. So if one of these players decides to take their qualifying offer, they could potentially just end up in the same situation again next year. Then there's Kuminga. He's had a whole saga throughout his career with the Warriors so far. It's clear that he and Steve Kerr have had their disagreements. So much so there was a report saying Kuminga thinks Kerr stunted his growth. He also wanted $30 million a year. The Warriors have offered 2 years, $45 million. So around 22.5 a year, which Kuminga has declined so far. And overall, I don't really understand what the Warriors are doing since it's clear that he doesn't want to be there. They've got 2 solid offers on the table, one from the Suns, who actually want to offer Kuminga $90 million for Nick Richards, Royce O'Neal, and 4 seconds. Both O'Neal and Richards would help the Warriors rotation right now. And with Kuminga being a free agent, it's not surprising if teams don't necessarily want to throw in an unprotected pick right now. Then there's the Kings offer of Malik Monk and a protected pick from the Kings. That's also an offer with a quality guard in Malik Monk, who can definitely help their team this year. I'm guessing there must be a steep protection on the first round pick where it'll turn into 2 seconds or something, which is why the Warriors are pressing for an unprotected pick. I just don't know if they're going to get that. And I don't know if holding Kuminga hostage is the way to go either.